Okay, tell me when we are live. Now we are. So welcome everyone to our meeting, our mastermind every Saturday. You need to mute yourself, honey, to don't have a background here. But we are just opening the energy right now to just acknowledge and celebrate that we have this space every Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern time. We get together for an hour and we support our switch here, you know, the switching from scarcity, limitation, separation, fear, to the new consciousness, the true consciousness that we are, that is really based on love, safety, all possibilities, all is well right here and now, and it's our job where we want to, with what we want to align, you know, what we want to really connect with. And we have that power. And today is Saturday, November 12th, 2016. Here, well, I am in Costa Rica, but I'm very connected with the United States. I'm an American citizen, and I love United States. And I think that last week was a tremendous, powerful week for all of us. But I would say that especially for the people that we are like committed to consciousness, to awakening, was such a test, you know, like to really see where I'm focusing, you know, like what it is that I'm, you know, thinking, saying, engaging with, knowing that everything that I think I'm attracting, I'm creating it, you know. So very powerful. I love that we have the support from Abraham-Hicks and our own team here, you know, every week supporting each other to learn, I would say, to learn, practice, to feel compassion for our human side, you know, and to liberate that, you know, shadows, limitation, fearful mind that you can see in yourself, or you can see it very clearly projected in our world today. So for me, you know, instead of being curious, of opening my heart and sending all the love and compassion, I was there at one point in my life, very afraid and very, you know, like engaged with how the life was going, thinking that that was the only reality. And us here, we have the privilege to know that, you know, reality is whatever it is that you believe and think really, you know, and it's up to us to see with what we align, you know. I want to just to here to really understand that we have that power of choice of focusing on what we choose to focus, and that intention, you know, means something in our lives. So let's keep learning here. Welcome, Dr. Fran. Here, you know, what it is that really is allowing, you know, and to have a clear intention and to master our minds, really, you know, to keep bombarding our mind, repetition until we get it here. So, and we are studying this incredible, powerful book that is called The Amazing Power of Deliberate Intent. I'm very happy that I had this book with me, or understanding, or journey, because like I said before, last week was a super test, you know, and the weeks before too, and all the political situation here, you know, to really check in what it is that I'm focused on, what it is that I'm, you know, promoting, nurturing, and thinking about, okay? So let's continue with our work. Today, Candace is going to read, and we are going to start in page 23, is chapter 6. I would like to support all of us that we are here in the panel. Any comment that you have, really the intention of this time together is not only to read the book. I think that's something you can do by yourself, but it's to read it in a way that we can feel it, that we can integrate it, that we can apply it in our practical daily life. So any comment that can support us to do that, open the microphone and we stop. You can does, like you can stop me when I'm reading, you know, to take it in fully, you know, to really offer our best way of integrating what we are reading here. So I let you go, Candace. This is your time now, the reader of this meeting today, starting chapter 6.
Hello, everybody. Nice to have you here. Nice to be here. Chapter 6, the attractive power of your creative thought. Although you may not yet be completely aware of your vibrational nature, you are a vibrational being, living in a vibrational universe. In fact, everything is vibrational. As you give your attention to something, an idea, a memory, a situation you are observing, a dream or fantasy that you are visualizing, you are actually activating vibration. And as your focus causes that activation, that vibrational content now becomes your point of attraction. Whenever you think about anything, and this is in italics for emphasis, whenever you think about anything, its vibrational content becomes an active part of your vibrational essence. And the subject of your attention begins to move toward you. Most people do not realize that thinking about something is inviting the essence of that something into their experience. Of course, when you made the decision to come forth into this body, you understood the vibrational nature of your world and of this universe, and you were enthusiastic about it, for you believed in your ability to deliberately focus. Knowledge of the vibrational nature of your universe is both comforting and exhilarating. Comforting in the sense that you know that you have nothing to fear, because nothing can come to you without your invitation of it. Nothing can come to you without your invitation of it. And exhilarating in the sense that you know that you can draw anything that you desire close to you for your joyful experience of it.
Can I say something?
I hope you do. Yes.
Yeah, my video isn't working today, but my voice is, so good. This is the topic you're talking about. That is, it's so amazing to me that what you put your attention to is what becomes your vibration, and what you see, you draw it to you. It's what they say in the book. But to me, it's even more evident. I mean, if I am something, if I'm looking at something, what am I going to see? I'm going to see what I'm looking at. Whether we can make it more extensive and talk about vibration and so on, but if I'm looking at the green car, I'm not going to see a red car. I mean, period. what you focus on is what you focused on, and people seem to not get the simplicity of that. I'm focused on a green car, but really I want to see a blue car. It's not going to happen because I'm not looking at it. So to me, it's so simple that what we're looking at is what we see, and what we see is what we are looking at and looking for. So if we see a problem, we're looking for problems. Otherwise, we wouldn't see them. Because if you take a situation and one person sees a problem, another person is not going to see a problem there. The reality of the problem is the reality of the observer. I think it's so simple, and it's totally in alignment with everything we see here. And what we focus on is what we see, and then in a vibrational way, we actually create it into pulling it into our world because we're looking for it. That's what I have to say.
Thank you,
I
Arnie.
want to jump into Candace, just because I think that this is so experiential. Like last week we had this huge event going on in United States, politically talking, and my gosh, we had this test. For me, was a super test, and I was observing all around, like in here, and in some way, it's like it's easy to say, okay, focus on whatever, like right now there is I heard yesterday, let's say, like a lot of fear, in the schools, that people are, like really afraid of dictator and, like the rednecks or whatever it is. I don't even want to put this of making real, but the question is also to be compassionate with our human journey, because any experience that we are going through is awakening us. It's like, how can I respect the aggressivity, the authoritarian dictator, blah, 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 energy that some people perceive, and For me to have that on my screen, I have to have arena. If not, I will not even see it anywhere, right? So I think we need to, the test that I see for us, you know, like I like to call us awakeners or you know, light workers, or people that we are committed with truth, capital letters, and you know, this realization of our true nature. I mean, you know, we have that opportunity to inside, you know, like to really realize, like yesterday I had a conversation with a friend, client, let's call it, and affected because all her memories, you know, from the Holocaust and the family and grandfather and all the disaster that happened there came up with this election, let's say. And I was telling her, you know, this is a huge opportunity of cleaning up. This is our job right now, you know. Remember, with the release technique, is like, what can do? Change it outside. So let's work inside. Let's use it as an opportunity, you know, like, wow, you know, the fearful Monica or whatever person it is there is, and I love that fearful Monica. Instead of nurture the fear, engage with the fear, make that fear real, you know, how can I release it? So we have to me, I love this section of the chapter where it says, whatever you choose to think, any memory that come up, let's go that suddenly now you go and think in the past, you know, when I was, and that is vibrating, and that means that at this very moment you are attracted that kind of vibration. Aware of how gently we are with the memories that are coming up right now, and anytime, let's say, you know, but I mean, now it's kind of shocking, you know, like the all the fear that you can see in the planet. Well, own it, release it. You know, that's my thing. Open the window and let that go, because you see it, you feel it, you can perceive it. I mean, that is the energy that is ready to go back to source, you know. So I just want to send out compassion for our human journey and deep observation of how much I reject something outside, or I judge it, or I just breathe gently and I offer my presence, because I'm detaching from all that old consciousness. Meditation and the practice, if you want, of what we are reading here. And thank you for listening.
Thank you, Monica. The words of an empowered person. Thank you for that, because your words about taking responsibility are pivotal in making a difference, and it just speaks of your commitment to your own inner peace, which spreads out into the world, and I'm grateful for that. Thank you. I had a similar thought when I heard about people protesting up. I'm in Oregon right now, and protesting up in the Portland area against, you know, the presidential results. And I was just thinking, folks, calm down, all is well. You know, and it was from the standpoint of,
And to me, Akanda, something that you
good
said,
outcomes.
exactly, and Akanda, something that you say beautifully is like, I catch myself on that one too, you know, like, gosh, you know, how focus on what you want. But, you know, when I was on that kind of consciousness, when I was asleep, when I was ignorant, when I was unconscious, let's say, you know, I hated that someone came to me and tell me, you know, like, think peace, you know, when I am super pissed off and super reactive or whatever. So at one point, you know, it's like I had this, I think I read a post or something, I don't remember now, but I went to my heart and I said, please show me what real compassion is, you know, because it's not about shaking the people outside. They do what they can. I mean, if they knew how to do better, I'm sure they will do, right? So that really brought me inside again, you know, back into my inner world, you know, like my life here. So instead of shaking them outside, let's find that aspect of myself, you know, that will rebel to this, that is afraid, or that has some kind of, you know, judgment or fear, and just make love with it, you know, release it in that way, you know. So I catch myself being a little more compassionate, let's say, and allowing the reaction of everybody here, because it's like, how to say, when you clean something, you have to see the dirty, you know, you have, it's like shit is coming out, right? So give it permission is what I want to say. And it took me a while, because I wanted to, come on, you know, wake up. And then I said, It's so beautiful, you know, give them permission. They need to vent, and they need, you know, maybe they need even to kill. I don't even know, you know. Jesus went to the cross, you know, and he was crucified, and he's like, okay, well, you know, there, Jesus, if that story is true, let's say, was engaging with that kind of behavior. He didn't fight against. He surrendered completely. You have to be very, very connected to source to do that, you know, because less identified with the body, but it's my job. It's not the job of the other people, is what I want to say. It's my journey, you know, my own awakening here. So that is the patience that I could, you know, see in myself unfolding after, you know, this kind of first reaction that I wanted people, calm down, you know, I mean, come on, you know, all is well, whatever. But they don't think that way.
No.
For us.
No,
Exactly.
they're too far away to even begin to understand from that frame of mind.
So love, presence, you know, deep compassion, exactly, and trust. We are the ones that can trust that I am the one believing that all is well, even when this is screaming up, you know. So let's be peace. Thank you.
Indeed.
Well, good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Fran.
What a lovely discussion, and I'm just sitting here smiling. Burl, for turning me on to this book by Uren and Monica and Arnie. I asked for 2 copies, so anticipating that you will come to Florida sometime in the near future, I actually have a copy for you. And having just delved into the very front part of the book, because I just received it literally and started reading it yesterday, it was I can't wait to read this book. I'm going to spend my time focused literally on just completing the book. The gentleman really has some ideas that are crystallizing for me, and thoughts on the issue in a way that I had not put together. And again, I would love to have him join our mastermind, actually. But I want to comment. I love everything that you guys had to say. And Arnie, your soliloquy on focus and vision, in my observation, was a perfect encapsulation of the difference between the application of a word to our physical beingness versus our spiritual beingness. And we've discussed at length in many of our calls the fact that we are in a constant struggle between that duality of our existence. And when we see something through our eyes in the physical realm and focused on that, then that is exactly what we see. That is the reality, and for ourselves. And you may be looking at a red car going by, and another person might be looking at that car and seeing it as blue. We don't know what the other person sees. Fortunately, we have a commonality of experience, and on the greater numbers of people, a red car going by will be perceived as a red car going by. Perception and focus and belief. On a metaphysical basis, when we see things with our mind's eye, we are generally looking at either something in present tense, perhaps, which is what we're being told that we should train ourselves to do, to simply remain in present time, both physically and metaphysically. But all too often, we are seeing things into the future eye. And because we're so highly patterned to be fearful and see negativity and expect negativity, then that tends to dominate our future seeingness basis. And that creates the emotion of fear. And Monica, to your point, well, let me finish one last point about Arne's talk. True that thoughts become things, but isn't it nice that there is a time lag? How many of us would like elephant and suddenly have an elephant in our immediate physical presence. That would be rather disconcerting, I would think, at the least. It could be quite dangerous at the worst. So it isn't a thought that becomes a thing. There is, in this time-space continuum in our reality physically, that allows us to define what we truly want to focus on a metaphysical basis. And so I've defined belief as the defining factor of what we continually perceive unfolding as our manifestations. And what is a belief? A belief is a thought we keep thinking, thought, and that repetitive nature of it embeds it in our subconscious. It becomes the source and the vibration that determines the physical manifestations of our metaphysical thinking, both in current present time and the progressive realization of what we have projected into the future. If we don't change our beliefs, we will not change our physical manifestations because we want to be right. By constantly repeating on a daily, minute-by-minute basis of physical reality that is what we're perceiving through our eyes physically at the time, is what keeps us sane moving forward, because the picture is not constantly changing. Change that internal belief to a better picture. Now, to Monica's discussion and to what Candace brought up in terms of this current phenomenon of election in the United States. The individuals that have found it necessary to have mass demonstrations against the reality that Donald Trump won this election is the voice of the vocal of the silent majority in this country. He successfully navigated. It's just an unfolding miracle that we are observing. Winning the primary over 17 lifetime career politicians, emerging from a process in which he literally had the entire country against him on an observable basis because of the media. That's all they would put out through their propaganda machines as, quote, reality. All the polls were against them. All the people are against them. And yet he comes out and emerges triumphant in the election. The people demonstrating against it are a manifestation through the minority and splinter groups that see nothing but fear based on the false expectation to reverse and destroy everything that they have fought for and gained over the last 10 to 20 years through democratic process. For instance, the gay marriage issue. They're fearful that he's going to stand up and outlaw and rebuke all of the marriages that are simply not going to happen. That's not even an issue, in my opinion, that the government should be involved in. Those are personal decision choices, and people can live their lives in peace based on their own determinism. We don't need government intervention at that level. But the fear of these people is that he's going to undo things. And let's be honest about it and do exactly what Monica has suggested. You know, if we have a fear of that internally, let's look at it, drop our heads and release it, because that's all it is. It's an energy. It's an expectation that something is going to manifest in our future that we don't agree with and don't want. Just so amazingly frustrating. Also so beautiful to observe that people arrive at consciousness on schedule. This too will pass. These protests will pass. Trump will move forward, and the country will observe over time for the detriment of that reality as it unfolds. And their internal perceptions and the realizations may evolve over time as they allow their repetitive thoughts. And we will see peace come through. Is change. It was time for a change. And it is for us to be observing that. And I think it's wonderful that we can sit here and discuss that as a mastermind of people that have moved somewhat further up the scale, differentiating ourselves from the masses. And it's interesting because the point that Urin brings up immediately, even in his introduction, is that of our nature is the very cause of continuing conflict on the planet. And I agree 100% with that. And we're at a war within ourselves between the separateness from oneness that is demanded of us as human beings. We must see and perceive ourselves as a separate beingness in order to maintain the continuity of an identity. And yet, at the same time, we are all one beingness on a spiritual level. And it is a difficult process. As he points out eloquently again, the ability to realize the oneness of ourself and love that person who is manifesting a diametrically opposite position on an issue to our own position. And we can intellectually think about oneness. We can intellectually think about forgiveness. But until we truly incorporate the belief in the oneness of us all and the universality of love for all that we must live and come from in our daily personal belief systems, we will not see peace on earth. Sorry, guys, back to you.
Yeah, can I say something that when I thank you, Dr. Fran, this and everybody's talking about the, you know, some people having an opinion about that they don't like what happened after the voting here, and they make demonstrations. Now, I'm sure, like you said, there are some people who have fear. Back when I was a teenager myself, I was out and demonstrating against everything and anything. And looking back, you know, yeah, I thought I knew what I was talking about, but really, truly, I had no idea what I was talking about. And the reason I was doing the demonstration was not because I wanted to particular situation, even though it sounded like it. But the thing that really drove me was the camaraderie that I found with the people that we were doing this together with. I got new friends, and I got accepted. We got, you know, it was a whole community situation that arose from those people, regardless of the topic. And I think that might be going on right now, especially as you see many of the demonstrators are teenagers. So they might not call themselves that, but they are also looking to get out of the family situation from the mother and father, find their own identity. Who am I? Well, the only way I'm going to find out who I am is to be against who they told me I was. So I have to rebel, I have to demonstrate, I have to say no to that, to go over to find something new to myself. Nothing to do with the voting and the presidency, or it's just the evolution steps of us human beings going from kids to teenagers to adults, that we go through that. And it's not so serious about the fear and all the reasons, even though the words are being thrown around in the world. And I say that from that is what happened to me when I was growing up, and gives a new perspective.
Thank you, Arne. That's a really good perspective. I think we've all gone through that, rebelling against the facts. And thank you, Doc Fran, and everybody. What great discussion. I'll keep reading here. When you realize, excuse me, when you realize that you are the vibrational attractor of all things that come to you, and that you do not have control of what comes, your world opens to new horizons. There is no need to limit your experience in a guarded or protective stance, for no unwanted thing can force or assert itself into your experience. You are the creator of your own experience, and no one else has the power within your experience. And that is true for everyone. Wow, perfect punctuation to our discussion. And the powerful universal law of attraction. In the same way that the law of gravity consistently responds to all of the physical matter of your planet, the law of attraction consistently responds to all vibrations. Every projection of thought, whether you are focused into the past, present, or future, is a vibration and has attraction power. Each thought offers a signal similar to a radio signal that the law of attraction recognizes and matches. This powerful, consistent law of attraction, that which is like unto itself is drawn, the definition of law of attraction, that which is like unto itself is drawn, offers consistent results in response to the vibration that you offer. There are no arbitrary, inconsistent responses that would make the law of attraction impossible to understand. It is consistent. It is fair. It is always responsive. It is powerful. It is a deliberate creator's best friend. Love that. Your awareness of the powerful consistency of the law of attraction and your understanding of how it works, coupled with a conscious utilization of your emotional guidance system, puts you in the powerful position of creating a wonderful, joyous life. Choosing your objects of attention deliberately and refining the specifics of your focus by utilizing your emotional guidance system renders you a powerful, deliberate creator who is fulfilling your intention for this physical life experience. For you are now allowing the perspective of your source to be present in this leading edge experience as you ride the glorious wave of taking thought beyond that which it has been before. Wow. Yours is a unique and personal life experience. Although you may know others who seem to be having similar experiences, you are living a unique life experience. In other words, as you move about your world, interacting with the components of your time-space reality, experiencing the variety and contrast that surrounds you, you automatically and constantly clarify personal preferences. And as you stand in your unique leading edge perspective, your unique preferences and desires are erupting within you and causing vibrational signals to emanate from you. And as those vibrations, through the law of attraction, summon vibrational matches unto themselves, everything that you are and everything that your inner being of source is experiences the expansion of that summoning. The non-physical part of you revels in the exhilaration of this groundbreaking expansion, for there is no more joyous place in all of existence than to be on this leading edge place experiencing this new awareness firsthand. We write this book because it is our desire that you experience firsthand the joy of this leading edge perspective. We want you to experience the exhilaration of standing on the leading edge of thought, fully conscious of the speed of life flowing through you. Future generations will benefit from the desires that are now emanating from you and from their subsequent attraction power. But it is our desire that you receive the benefit of them too, right here, right now. And that closes chapter 6. Shall we talk about it for a bit?
Yes, I think so. I think so, Candace. Minimum, I mean, to me, it's like I keep, it's this sense that I totally understand, like, yes, 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 yes. And at the same time, I can see, like, yeah, easy to say, easy to mentally get it. But like Dr. Fran was saying before, I mean, we have to embody it. We have to, to really download all this information into every cell, of our bodies to vibrate this, so it is really taking your power, like to me, to see, okay, my life is unique, is my life experience unique, even though I can see a lot of people around, going through the same thing. I'm the one writing my script here, the one really allowing the experience that I'm going through, and that's kind of, it's like, I really love when they say the edge, what they call it here on the, what it is, the leading edge of thought, like, it's some concept that I read it many times with this kind of books, but I start to get it energetically talking. And for me, it feels a little bit like a like a, gosh, I am creating myself every second, with everything that I'm thinking, everything that I'm choosing to focus on, that's my creation in the moment. It's like I can detect, where I'm putting my attention here and become more and more conscious to fine tune, where I want to put it. But I do want to say that this is really easy to say. And many times we have wounds in our subconscious mind, moments of pain, contraction, and I think from my perspective, to open up the space for you to choose your thoughts, you have to free yourself. And that, I love the book that we studied before, the release technique, because for me, at the end, is what it represents my coaching work. If you want that, I do the same thing, and I call it loving presence. Doesn't matter the name, but I mean, the thing is to feel compassion for that aspect in us, that is healing. These memories come up, but to deeply understand that if you cannot choose what you want to think at this moment, that it is for me, it was a powerful journey, like I wanted to choose my thoughts, but you know what? I chose them for 5 minutes, and the rest of the day, I was on automatic with the thoughts, that I was conditioned to. So it takes a lot of perseverance, I will say, love to yourself, deep understanding, and a lot of inner focus. It's like to me, I would love to support all of us you don't change the world outside. You don't change it outside. Stop it. Like just go inside and be the life that you are, to create the world that resonates with your true nature, but is inside. It's so, I don't know. So I love to realize more and more deep, that my life, my individual life here is my unique life experience, and I am creating it constantly. It's not I master it yet, but I totally aligned with this deep, empowering understanding of who we are, here on Earth. It's like, wow. So thank you, Candace. I just, I love to keep deepening this topic. Thank you.
Yeah, it's like you say, Monica, like we have to practice this, and Dr. Fran, we have to get into the new, we have beliefs, and we need to get into new beliefs, and that is a challenge, because we're so habitual to the old beliefs, and we even believe our beliefs, not forgetting that they are just beliefs. They have nothing with reality, because somebody else has a completely opposite belief and they think that's reality. Are not reality. They are just repetitive thoughts. And and when we want to change the world that we are creating to something different, to put that effort into and that time into that new habit of a new repeating the new thoughts so much it becomes a belief. And I was a Tibetan monk, and not from a religious point of view, but the benefit of having meditation practice and prayers every day in a certain amount of hours is that time to change the belief. To repeat that thought again and again every day, maybe an hour or 2 hours every day, eventually we change our belief. So I see that's really purposes of doing retreats or meditations, or being a certain kind of monk or nun or something like that. So that's some kind of benefit in that way.
Thank you, Arnie. I was thinking about that this week too, the speed of changing a belief. Is it fast? Is it slow? And I've had times when it's changed in an instant or very quickly over a conversation where I thought one thing and somebody said, oh, well, look at it from this standpoint. And I went, oh, I like your thought better. So then I'd pop over and believe that for a while. And eventually we grow. And eventually we evolve. And sometimes we think it out for ourselves, or we take somebody else's idea and make it our own. One of the things I thought about this week was about edges and cutting edge and leading edge, and I paused to really think about that. Our thoughts, our creative positive thoughts, and those are the kind I'm spending more time wanting to think, are creating a whole new reality. And I was thinking this, and then I got to that paragraph where we are, what did it say? Just that we are affecting future generations, that they will benefit from what we are creating in our thoughts right now. That was profound to me. There's a lot of responsibility in that, as much as one wants to or can take. But it's also a huge inspiration. And what better time, when we have world pressures and environments and this and that and all these different things pushing on us, and us being in our center and at choice about what we think, what we speak, what we do, how we act, how we love, how we bring love into those situations. And I keep coming back to, I am so glad to be me, and I'm so honored to be in the position of having just whatever little bit of awareness I have, that I can contribute, that I can serve, and it's an honor. It's an honor to be here.
Yes, beautiful, Candace. I was thinking yesterday, I think I shared with Arne about home. Maybe now I start to understand why I was born in this time, because I think, like you said, Candace, to check in, to don't lose your centeredness, like you are connected with source, in the middle of the storm, in the middle of a storm, in the middle of a situation that is not whatever, blah, 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 and to keep there, choosing the connection instead of the appearance. I think it's our power, and we are mastering in some way. We are mastering it in some way or another, So I think that we can acknowledge that easiness. Like, to me, I think there is a moment, and then when you trespass that moment, a momentum, let's say, that you build, and then suddenly becomes easier, like you can really choose what you are thinking in the moment without having to fight the whole thinking, It's like, thank you for sharing. I see you very well. Fear, thoughts, blah, 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 thank you, I love you, set you free, open the window, release that kind of thing, and then, think. What do I choose to think that makes me feel good? And if we could move on that direction, we are going to higher the frequency of our planet for sure. So let's hold the vision, of our divine plan. This is something that I wanted to share also before, like really, really from the higher perspective, okay? This planet Earth right now is going through what it needs to go to wake up, because it's awakening, So if we can surrender to that, even, earthquakes, tsunamis, the earth shaking, the political systems, breaking, whatever around, and we can support ourselves to stay centered, the divine, and to allow that divinity to work through us, then we will see that divine plan, instead of fighting it or prolonging it, the agony or whatever it is. So the big trust, capital letters, of awakening, and that's what we are. We are God awakening to our own divinity, you know. So trust that, you know, and see we can relax. It's not so much that I have to do anything, you know, just to enjoy who I am moment by moment and to check if I am centered or I am not. Like yesterday, I had someone too, you know, and, you know, I was asking, okay, this action that you want to take, where is coming from? Energy behind the action, you know. Well, you know, like it's not fair, injustice, you know. And I was thinking, okay, well, you know, that vibrates, injustice vibrates more than your action. Your action is going to be printed with that vibration on injustice. Peace before, you know, before you get in action, so you can promote your action that is an extension of peace, not an extension of injustice, you know, or unfair. So again, I don't see the change of the world, you know, outside, except inspire actions that are in alignment, you know, with a peaceful, you know, offering that comes from you. And that's the challenge for many of us, especially the ones that we are in love, in my case, to the awakening process, you know, like what I'm offering right now, you know, I'm offering alignment or I'm offering this whatever, you know, mental identity separated from source or what. So we are aware, you know, and we can, you know, really support ourselves to enjoy that progress that we are making, especially, I mean, individually, you know, to see that. So that will affect our collectiveness, I believe, and our future, like you were saying, that's our kids, you know. So the divine plan is perfect. There's a lot of suffering, you know. I was looking back in my life and said, gosh, you know, now I understand that I went through so much pain in this life, maybe just to feel compassion for the people that are going through. Not to buy it, not to have to defend them, you know, and to, you know, like save them from there. No, to really offer them the deep trust that I have in life, you know, because everything that we are going through is targeting something else. That magnificent balance of, you know, the universe and the law of attraction and all the laws of the universe, we surrender to that, then we can unfold and shine. And it's my sense, you know, or belief now becomes my belief, but I mean, it's really what I'm sensing inside, you know. So thank you, Candace, for this. And I wanted just to share the support, you know, that we can, and to give to others, you know, about all is well, really. All is well, capital letters, really. I don't see that from this perception of my eyes, you know. Oh, well, then go higher. You know, go higher and ask for guidance higher. How do you see the world today, higher self? And listen. How do you see the world today, God? And listen, you know, and then we extend that more and more. Thank you. Let's see, I think we have 10 more minutes, Candace. So chapter 7, I mean, all this book is so deep, you know, that we can, whatever. But let's continue reading if nobody opens the microphone here and we stop in any paragraph. Mm-hmm.
Chapter 7, you are manifesting the essence of what you're thinking about. When you begin to understand the vibrational nature of thought and the way the law of attraction responds to it, then you begin to really understand how it is that you are the creator of your own reality. Everything about your life is coming to you in response to the focus of your thoughts. But until you understand the vibrational nature of your thoughts and discover a comparative way of recognizing them, you have no deliberate control over your own experience. Deliberate creation is much more than just deliberately choosing a subject of attention and focusing upon it. For while it is a good thing to deliberately choose the subject of your attention, you must also feel for the vibrational content of your thought in order to really be in deliberate control of your creating. For example, this is getting into the subtleties. For example, you may be focused upon the subject of financial abundance, but this subject, like all subjects, has great variety within it. On one extreme of the subject is the thought of the presence of financial abundance, while on the other extreme of the subject is the thought of the absence of financial abundance. And so, in a simplistic sense, every subject could be seen as two subjects: what is wanted and the lack of what is wanted. And I'm suddenly thinking of what we learned in our release book about want, the word want, that it automatically implies not having. Anyway, to continue, each subject has a varied vibrational range. When we say to our physical friends, you get what you think about, sometimes they feel confusion, for they believe that they have been thinking about achieving more money, a healthier body, a better relationship, or more satisfying work. People will sometimes argue that they have been definitely thinking about more money, and they do not understand why, if what we say is true, more money is not coming into their experience. But the subject of money has a varied vibrational range. The subject of money ranges from a magnificent, ever-flowing abundance all the way to the desperate absence of abundance. So merely focusing upon the subject or the idea of money is but the beginning of the necessary focusing or molding of the vibrational energy required to bring money into your experience. Directing your thought to the subject of money is a good first step. But then it is necessary to understand where, on this wide range of vibrational possibilities relative to the subject of money, you actually are. Which end of this vibrational range are you leaning toward? Are you a closer match to the magnificent abundance? Or are you a closer match to the desperate absence of abundance? You can easily answer this question when you understand your emotions. For it is through emotional awareness that you understand the vibrational content of your thoughts. The way you feel as you are focusing thought is really what matters most.
I love Candace. I just want to stop here because the money energy that at the end is the first. I would say is the cause of being here together. 4, 5, 6. I don't know how many years ago, but I really stand up for financial freedom. And it's funny, because in the beginning, I was working towards blah, 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 but I love to understand, that it's working. I haven't manifested yet. What I can say, and I want all of you to celebrate me for this, because I celebrate myself for that, is that I am like infinitely much more comfortable. Comfortable means like comfort, with the flow of money that is coming to me, that is 10 times, and it's not a lot more than before, a little more, I can say that, yes, thank you very much, but it's much more comfortable every time that I talk about money, every time that I use money, every time that I go and I do like window shopping, and I'm playing with it and I'm enjoying it. It's like I start to love the vibration of how do I feel when I think about money. And it took me years, yes, in the moment that I was centered and thinking prosperity and abundance, everything was good. When I was opening my online banking, I don't know, let's say $35 in the bank, like, oh, and to stop, open the window, release. So it is a process. And I think as human beings, we have this tendency, oh, I'm going to think all is well. And then I want all is well right now, and that want is what you were saying just before, Candace, the fact that you want is because you really believe that you don't have it, it's that already, So it is a journey, is what I want to say to all of us, it is a journey, a loving journey, if you can make it on that way, and be gentle with yourself. I mean, the fact that you desire something, it is an expansion of consciousness. Now you can come from wanting because I don't have it, or you can come from the desire because it's expansive. Frequency, approach, and connection with the truth of who we truly are, So be patient and, and allow yourself to be supported in this direction. I mean, we are doing it and we are getting, much more, we are manifesting more and more our true nature here on earth, so that's what I want to say. Thank you so much. I just love the topic of money because it's true that, and this is interesting. I invoke it, or I sense the desire, I was tired of getting by, every month. And I said, okay, I'm done with this. Let's go to financial freedom, right? Into bankruptcy. it's like, my gosh, what's going on here, you know? So really that desire kicked in, you know, the entire shadow of fear to lose, dependency, like money will be my security, money will be my freedom, you know, it's the opposite. You know, it's the opposite. Let's find the security inside, you know, and then money can express it. You know, let's find the freedom inside, so then money can express it and support you on that arena, you know. So I'm passionate with the journey, as you can see. And I just wanted to highlight, you know, that we can see very clear with our own journey with prosperity, you know, what it is that we are holding on to here. Thank you so much, Candice. And I think we are pretty much at the end. So if anybody, yes, Beryl, please go for it. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you very much. Yesterday something happened. I was driving in the car and I was going to somewhere very nearby. I didn't take the navigation with me because I know the way very close nearby. I can just go in 10 minutes. And there was an accident on the way. We are directed to another route that I've got no idea where it's going to. And after going to that way, it's directed to another way. There was another accident. And finally I find myself driving in highways that I've got no idea where I'm going. But I cannot stop in the middle of the highway. I just need to go. And I went. I think I drove more than 2 hours. And my gas was ending. And I couldn't find any gas station. I don't know where I am. I stopped somewhere. I found the earliest exit. I stopped somewhere. I've got no idea where I am. I wanted to call some people and ask what to do, how to get help. Then I noticed my phone charge was finished. And I've got no phone, nothing around me. I've got no idea where to go, and I've got no gas in the car. And then I thought, okay, I can find a taxi and go back home, something. And in the meantime, I noticed that I was holding my credit card in my hand. In the panic that I broke my credit card in my hand. And I don't have any money. I don't have any phone to reach somewhere. I don't know where I am. I don't know how to drive the car because there's no gas. And just nothing. I just know that I'm alive and I'm somewhere on the earth. That's the only thing I know. And I found myself, I was sitting on the street crying and crying. And then I started to think of, why am I crying? I'm alive and I'm just sitting here, somewhere in Europe, I know. And why you are crying? And I noticed that thoughts were more visible in my mind. Lots of past recordings were turning in my mind, like, if my mother didn't do this, then I would be living a different life. If I had a family, if I had a husband who cares me like this, I had a different life. And all the past hurts, all the past recordings were turning in my mind. And that was the reason why I was sitting there and crying. That was the only reason. Those past hurts and recordings turning in my mind. And I just said, stop this, and stop, look around you. And I started to look around myself in a different way, just in a different, like I first time came on the earth. I noticed nice windows, nice colorful windows. I noticed some people said hello and started to ask things, just like nothing happened. And I started to ask myself, what do you really want now? It's not the money that you want. What do you really want? It's a feeling that I want. What do I feel? I want to feel safe in my house, in a place that I know. I want to have my food with me in my house. Feel that safety, warmth. And what do I really want? I want to relax in my house. Those are the things why I want to get to my house and relax. Okay, pray. God, I want to reach there where I feel really safe, but I do know that I am safe at the moment now too. You are with me. I'm somewhere on the earth and safe and loved. And please let me feel it better, deeper. I know I will be safe I'm always in your hand wherever I am, even though I don't know. And finally, magically, things happen. People help me to take the car. People help me to find the way and get my phone charged. And finally, I reached to network and found my way somehow magically. I was very late, 5 hours late than planned, but I was late back to my home at the end. And all just was maybe to experience that I'm creating my own trouble because of the thoughts in my mind. Maybe I could also take it just like an adventure. Just I could also stop in the place that I don't know and go to an art gallery. And it's just we are able to choose. And that accidentally happened just to show me that I've got power in me to choose. How do I want to experience what I'm experiencing?
Wow, how beautiful, Beryl. Yes, yes. You know, I do want to thank you to begin with, because there is a lot of people going through what you're going through, what you went yesterday. And I think all what you went yesterday through was a release. You had the capacity and the ability, you know, to at one moment say, okay, I see you, thank you very much, and I choose, and then you make your prayer. So to me, I think that when we invoke, you know, the divinity in any situation, it's going to work, because you are the channel, right? You are the one asking for it, and it is given, that for sure. But the question is to arrive to that moment of surrendering, you know, of saying enough, but not from a place of fighting with what is, from a place of creativity. It's like what it is that I really want. Then, I don't know, but I sense that was such a moment of you taking your power, you know. Okay, I see the game. Oh my gosh, all the fear that you felt yesterday, purging this planet at this very moment, buried. So to me, you know, fear, guilty, loss, frustration, anger, rage, whatever it is that come out, just by experiencing it is already a release. You know, so you are an incredible example, Beryl, of light worker, I will call it, you know, someone that is, yes, allows your human journey. All that conditioning was stored in your subconscious mind, okay? And you are the only one that can bring light to it. You're the only one that can really see it, becoming aware of it, feel it, like you feel it yesterday, like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, and all that, you know, is coming out. And then you have more space to choose. What do I really want? Question, you know? What a powerful moment where you really, you know, acknowledge that you can choose where you put your attention there, you know, so you had more space. I just want to acknowledge you, and I would love, you know, if all humanity could see this testimonial, this sharing that you just put there, because many people are going through this kind of troubling emotions. I have one incredible friend that is, I consider super loving, enlightened, committed to awakening and blah, blah, and was for 3 days in bed, you know, like feeling guilty. The guilt coming up, and it's like, Monica, da, da, da. And I said, just allow it, you know, and then choose to invoke your innocence, the innocence of your true being, you know. But what I'm saying is, like, a lot of emotions and fear especially are really coming out now very strongly. So let's don't grasp it. Like you know, you spend some time in the beginning, oh my God, like, you know, like enrolling in it, right? And at one point was enough. So I would like to bless everyone, you know, to this empowerment that we have inside when you really understand who we are, and we really can invoke it even in the presence of who we are not. That's the key for us, you know. So congratulations, Beryl. I think was not pleasant, but look at the miracles that you came after, you know, and that you can, now you have even more strength, more power, more confident, you know, that when you catch yourself in a place like that, stop. You know, notice what's going on, you know, don't take actions from there, because we are completely in chaos, right? And then you will see the miracle of light coming to guide you and support you, like you were sharing with us, you know. So thank you so much. What a beautiful human expression. Okay, and
before we go, I have one thing I like to remind everybody is that we have a full moon coming up, and it's a super moon, and it is, I think, the closest the moon is going to be to the Earth for many years, like 30 or something, 30 or 40. So on the United States West Coast, it's at 5:52 a.m. on Monday morning. So find your time. That's even earlier for you East Coasters. But anyway, it should be worth going out and seeing.
Thank you, Candace. Yes, let's get ready. The entire Sunday and Monday could be a very influential moment to be open and receive this guidance, from the heavens and the sky. And thank you so much, everyone, just for joining us here, being real, authentic. I love this panel. We are supporting each other here to keep going to what we know is truth inside. And we will continue next Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern Time on page 28. And if you want to be on the panel or you want to engage more, with your presence here, remember to email Arne, A-R-N-E, at unlimitednetwork.com, so we can send you, the special link to be here. And or maybe you just want to have a reminder every week that we are doing this, and Arne normally on Friday sends an email to all of us, and you can see it on the recording live on YouTube or the link of unlimitednetwork.com/mastermind. So thank you, everyone, for this wonderful time together. I wish you a wonderful weekend, ready to open up for this beautiful full moon that is sending a lot of light to Earth. So be ready to welcome that, and see you next Saturday.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great meeting. Thank you. Learned a lot.